Okay, I'm going to call this story Crying in My Underwear in Kotzebue. So, you'll understand when I get to Kotzebue, but there's several flights till I got there. Now, this is my trip going to see Amanda and Joey, but I had to take, as you know, 8 cans of paint because they ran out of paint painting their house. So,
8 cans?
yeah, so I had
those big
gallons, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 8 gallons of paint, plus a big suitcase full of other stuff Amanda wanted. So I had 2 boxes of paint. They were like 48 pounds each. 2 boxes of paint, 48 pounds. Another check-in suitcase, 35 pounds or so. My rolling bag that was going to be overhead. And a shopping bag with a poster for Amanda and Japanese lanterns from IKEA. And my backpack was my purse, so I had hands-free. Okay, so I wasn't sure the airlines would take the paint because they're flammable, but the guy at Home Depot said they weren't flammable. So Jim was going to circle the airport to see if I could get him checked in or not. And so I printed my boarding pass at home. We got there plenty early. I go up to the checking, the ticket counter. And so the lady goes, "So what's in your boxes?" And I'm like, "Paint." And she goes, "Oh, paint." And I said, "Well, they're not flammable and I have the flash point." So I called the airlines and they said if I knew the flash point number if they were flammable, then they would probably take them. And so I told her all that and I said, "There is no flash point and they're not flammable." So she said, "Well, let's let TSA figure that out." So she just sent them all down to TSA and she goes, "Oh, I'm so glad you have your boarding pass. This is great. You're here plenty of time. Just why don't you just stand over here for 10 minutes and we'll see if we hear from TSA."
If you're what?
If the guys that are checking the paint and stuff, and if they have a problem with it, they'll call up here and we'll send down the paperwork or whatever. So I just stood to the side, called Jim, he just circled or parked off to the side out there waiting to see if there was any trouble. So this whole trip I'm worried about how am I alone going to carry 2 48 boxes of paint and another big 35 pound of a suitcase plus a roller bag plus a shopping bag and my backpack, from airport to ending up in Buckland. So I wanted to get everything just in and checked through, and I can't check it all the way through to Buckland unfortunately because there's too many plane flights. So I stood there and waited, and so finally I went over to her and she says, "Oh, I think you're all clear, go ahead." So I headed down to Alaska Airlines. Now, I haven't gone to Alaska before, so it's a whole new airline, new wing and everything in Sacramento. So I get there, and there's a shuttle. And I'm like, okay, shuttle.
There was a what?
There's a shuttle. There's a new shuttle that takes you even farther out somewhere than where I thought I was going. So it wasn't the gate I thought I was going to. There's a shuttle that takes you to another place that has the gate. So I get on the shuttle, and I realize it's not like an elevator where you can touch the door and it opens again. When it starts to shut, it's like shutting on you. So you're like,
"Oh, God."
"Woo! Okay, I'm going to get in, to the shuttle, so I jump in and it shuts behind me." And so it's a really quick shuttle out to the next building or somewhere out there. It's new and really nice. So I get off the shuttle, and then there's a big line for security. So you go, like Disneyland, you're going around and around.
Now, have you got all this stuff with you?
No, all I have is my roller bag and my shopping bag, and which is a lot to deal with, and my coat and my, backpack. So and through this whole trip, I have dropped my wallet 3 times with this $200 in it, but thanks be to God, people have said, "Lady, is that your wallet back there?" So I dropped the wallet at the ticket counter, and somebody, says, "Lady, is that your wallet?" I go, "Yeah, that's my wallet." So I picked it up, and I think I dropped it in security.
Where were you carrying it?
It was in my backpack, but the backpack has like 2 snaps, and and I didn't realize I had a cinch opening, which later I figured it has a cinched opening, so I'm like cinching it shut every time. So I think I dropped it in the security line, and somebody goes, "Is that your wallet, ma'am?" And I go, "Oh yeah, that's my wallet." And so I feel like I'm just like all this stuff, 2 hands, you got the rolling thing, and then you stop, and then you're like, "Oh, I gotta roll again," and everything's just falling everywhere. So I get up to the security check. I get to the security check, and I hand the guy all my papers. And the guy goes, "Where's your boarding pass?"
Your what?
My boarding pass that I printed at home. I go, I don't know, it's right there, isn't it? I still got all the papers from the lady, and my ID and all that stuff was right there. And he goes, so you don't have your boarding pass here? And he goes, well, don't worry, there's a little kiosk machine. Just go back over there and print your boarding pass and just pass by everybody and just come around and come back to the front again. I go, okay. So I'm wheeling all that stuff back over there, and I punched in my confirmation number, and this receipt thing comes out. It doesn't really look like a boarding pass, but I just took it to him anyway. And he goes, what's this? This is not a boarding pass. Did you wait for another piece of paper to come out? I go, nothing else came out. Well, go do it again and see if something else comes out. So I go back and I do it again, and then something new comes out, and it says, too late to print boarding pass, too close to takeoff. Oh, so I run up to him and I said, what does this mean? He goes, this is bad news. This is really bad news. This means you have to run back to the ticket counter and get a boarding pass from the ticket counter. I go, you mean through the tram and down the... He goes, yeah. And I said, you're not going to hold my rolling bag for me, are you? And he goes, no, I'm not, ma'am. But you come right back to me when you get back here. He goes, you better hurry. I can hurry, I can run, I can hurry. So I turn, and I just ran. I got this stuff flying everywhere, and I just ran to the tram, and the door was open. I just run in, and I just jump inside, and this lady was sitting down, and she screamed because I scared her, and the door shut behind me, and I grabbed the pole because it just takes off, you knock over, and just praying all the way. I don't even know what time it was. I didn't even want to know how many seconds or minutes I had before takeoff. I didn't even look. I'm just like hanging on, and it opens, and I just run to the escalator. I get on the escalator, and I'm just running down the escalator holding my bag thinking I'm going to have to go to the chiropractor after this. And the escalator takes you all the way down to baggage claim, not to the ticket middle floor.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'm in baggage claim! So I'm like... looking around for like another escalator. There's no other escalator that goes up to the middle floor. So there's an elevator, but it's clear. It's like all clear and chrome, and you can't figure out where the opening is. So I'm like walking around this dumb thing, like, where is that door? Because it all looks the same. And so finally I found where I thought was the door, and I see some buttons. I'm pushing everything. So finally it opens, and there was a nice button that said, ticket counter floor, whatever. And so I push that, and it opens, and I just run as fast as I can up to the lady.
God.
And I said, instead of you kept my boarding pass, I said, I don't have a boarding pass. And she goes, oh, you're in big trouble. I really needed to know that. And so she's like, oh gosh, she's like trying to, how they do, they just type on their thing forever. Computer. And then she turns to the guy next to her. I need your help. This is the lady with the paint. I was like, great, everybody. It's good thing I didn't have a gun.
What?
Yeah. The lady with the paint. I just imagine it was the lady with a gun, like, this is the lady with a gun. Everybody's like, oh no, But she's just like typing, and he's typing, so they're both typing. I'm like, just give me a badge or something, And they're just, oh, you're in big trouble. Oh, I don't know if you're going to make it, and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is praying. But I don't know why I was worried. I should have just said, well, there's probably another flight, or, it's not like the end of the world, but I'm thinking, this is the end of the world, to me, and they're just type. So finally she hands me something like this, and she goes, run. She just hands me the paper, and she goes, run for your life, Forrest, and then I'm like this, like, where, and she just points to the escalator, like, so I just run to the escalator, and I pick up my bag, and I'm running up the escalator, and I am just, like, pushing people out of the way to get to the tram. I see the tram door open, and that's all I can think of is, like, I gotta make that tram, so I don't know if I was rude to people. I'm just like, excuse me, pardon me, I have to make this tram, excuse me, and I'm just, like, pushing everybody. I'm like, I hope I don't know anybody. That I'm pushing out of the way, and I don't think I knocked anyone over, but, I just get in the tram, grab the pole, my suitcase falls over, and I'm, like, embarrassed because people, like, helping me pick it up, and I'm like, I probably pushed them out of the way, and they're helping me pick up my suitcase, and so the tram takes off, and it only opens, you get in one side, you get out the other, so I wanted to try to get out that side, and that didn't work, so then I had to push through everybody getting out the other side, and so I'm pushing past everybody, they're just, like, meandering out of the tram, they're all going so slow, and so there was no outer way to get back to the guy, that said get back to me. Usually there's like nobody around the wall. They're all around the wall. Everybody's going everywhere. They must all be late for their plane. So I'm just pushing past everybody, and I'm like looking at the guy going, I'm back. And he goes, let that lady through, So I push past everybody, and he goes, well, this will work. It's a gate pass. I go, whatever. So then you all of a sudden come to a complete stop because you're in security check, you know, where you have to take your coat off and dig everything out. And it's like, so the lady in front of me, she turns around, she goes, "You go ahead of me. I've been where you are before." And I'm like, "Thank you." I didn't know which aisle to take, but I took her aisle because, you know, she's giving me one more person ahead. So that went pretty smooth, and then I just threw everything, shoes and whatever I could throw in to my little shopping bag with Amanda's lanterns and just started running. I had my flip-flops, so that made it easy. And I started running looking for my gate number. Of course, where do you think my gate was?
The very
The
end.
very last gate. At the very end of the terminal. All the way to the
My
end.
goodness.
Way to the end. And I'm so thirsty because they took your water away. You know, because they took your water. I threw it away the first time I was going to go through the check. So I didn't have it as I ran back to the ticket or back from the ticket. And now I'm like thirsty and dying of thirst. And so I'm running. I don't have time, of course, to buy water. And because I'm going to miss the plane. So I'm running to the gate. And just before I get to the gate, some lady's sitting down going, "Is it that bad? You gotta run?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know." And I look at the gate thinking, well, somebody's standing there like the ticket lady. So I kind of slow down a little bit, you know, and start to walk. And then I hear my name over the intercom. It says, "Kathy Esway, keep running." I'm like, so I didn't even look at the lady that said, "Is
They
it that
actually
bad?"
said that?
Yeah, they said that over the intercom. So
Oh my
I
god.
didn't look back at the lady that says that bad because I figured she saw me get up and run again, you know. Because I was going to go, "I guess it's that bad," you know. I didn't have time to even say that, so I just ran the rest of the way to the gate, and they're like waiting for me, like grabbing things, and "Here, let me take that." I didn't even know. I'm like, "Okay, here, what?" You know, and they're just taking stuff, and "We don't need this, and you take that, and okay, this and that." And so I start to run down the gangplank thingy, you know, just the, whatever that's called, lose my wallet again.
Oh no, shit.
And this guy goes, that was Sam. This guy goes, that works, you know, he kind of runs that thing. He goes, "You don't have to run anymore, ma'am." I go, "Oh, thank you." He goes, "Is that your wallet back there?" "Yeah, that's my wallet." Oh my gosh. Everybody's been so kind to say that. I don't know what I'd do without my wallet. So I pick up my wallet. I go, "I am not going to lose this again," you know. So I go to get on the plane, and they say, "You know, there's no room for your carry-on." "Oh, great. I've only ran with it back and forth through the terminal. Why didn't they take it from me before?" So they took my carry-on roller bag that I've been rolling
God.
and stuck it in baggage. And I'm like, gladly, I really don't. I was just trying to save $20, which I gladly pay now. If I'd have known what I was going to be doing with it, I would have paid $40 for you to take it. But take it now. Go ahead. I'll just keep my shopping bag because I think I've got things in it I might need, you know. So I go in and everyone's staring at me. Everyone's like, "What have we been waiting for?" "Oh, this lady with the shopping bag, you know, okay." I don't even know what was in the shopping bag at this point. So I think I had my clear plastic bag with your shampoo, you know, because I couldn't get it back in my suitcase. I didn't have time. So I just like threw everything that you had to take out for them into the shopping bag. So I hope that was all right. And I just threw it in the overhead. And I literally just plopped into my seat. And I'm like, "I'm so thirsty. When are they going to bring water and drink?" But they're not going to bring it for a really long time. Sam can't hold the camera. And so I'm just sitting there dying, and I'm like, wow. Next time I'm going to bring 3 ounces of water just in case something like this happens, you know, and just keep it in your purse, you know. So I'm just sitting there thinking, "I made it. Okay, I made it. I'm here. Thank you, Lord, that I'm on this plane, and I hope I never have to get off this plane until I get to Buckland, but I have to, and I don't know what's going to happen next, you know." Figuring that the worst is over, but it isn't. So we'll just take a break till we get to the next adventure, and Sam can recover.
Oh no.
It's not over.